Okay, so have you ever had that feeling, like when you're looking at real estate listings online and it's for Western Washington and you see these amazing houses, like around Lake Tapps or maybe in Pierce County, and you just immediately start picturing yourself living there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's so exciting to even think about finding that perfect place, and like the urge to just jump in and start calling about tours and open houses is so powerful.
Oh, it is totally understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, that emotional connection is huge, When you can picture yourself in that house,
Exactly.
that really drives a lot of people to start the search.
Yeah, it makes sense, but before you go too crazy like down that rabbit hole of open houses and virtual tours and all that stuff, there's a really important first step that can make like a huge difference.
Definitely.
It's almost like, when you're going on a big trip and you want to make sure you have like your compass and your map all ready before you go.
Right. Get your bearings.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh.
in this case, it's getting pre-approved for a mortgage.
Yeah. You got it. And especially in a market like we have here,
Right,
where
right.
things can move so fast.
Yeah, especially in Pierce County, I hear it's crazy.
Oh, yeah. If you skip this step, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage.
Yep.
You could end up wasting a lot of time being disappointed and even losing out on the house you really want.
Oh, that would be the worst.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're
Awesome.
really going to explore why getting pre-approved isn't just like a little formality.
Right.
It's really like a powerful tool for anyone who is serious about buying a home, particularly here in Western Washington.
It is, yeah.
And we got a lot of great advice on this topic from Susie Karstedt over at Rethinking Real Estate.
Oh, she's great.
So if you find this helpful and you want to learn even more, you can find all their insights on their blog. It's rethinkingre.com/plug.
Definitely check that out.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
What is mortgage pre-approval like in the simplest terms?
Okay. So basically, it's when a lender really dives deep into your finances, your income, your credit history,
Right.
any debts you have, your job situation,
Right.
all that stuff. And they use that to determine how much money they'd be willing to loan you for a house.
So this is way more in depth than like just going to one of those online mortgage calculators
Oh, yeah.
and getting a rough estimate.
Way more.
Okay.
Pre-approval means they actually check all that information with real documents,
Wow.
like pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements.
Right.
They want to see the proof,
So it's not just taking your word for it.
No,
You
no.
know?
And this is really different from pre-qualification, which is usually more basic,
Okay.
like just based on what you tell them without really digging deep.
Right.
Sellers are way more likely to take you seriously if you have a pre-approval letter.
Okay, so pre-approval is like the series verified version.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got it. Now, why is it such a game changer to get this done first thing? Like, what's the biggest benefit for someone who's just starting their house hunt?
Well, the most immediate benefit is that it shows you exactly what you can afford.
Okay.
You'll have a really clear and realistic picture.
Okay.
So with a pre-approval, okay, this is the price range I should be looking at.
That makes so much sense because it's like, it's setting boundaries for all that house hunting excitement.
Totally.
Like it's easy to get carried away looking at these beautiful homes.
Right.
But if you're pre-approved, it's like, okay, I can't, I'm not going to even look at those mansions that are way outside of my budget.
Exactly. It keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
And it helps you avoid, getting your hopes up about a place that you just can't realistically buy.
Right.
This way you can focus all your energy on properties that you can actually make an offer on.
Yeah. You can be confident about it.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the budget piece. That's huge.
Right.
Now, we touched on this earlier, but it also signals something important to sellers, especially in a competitive market like we have around here. It's like in Pierce County and around Lake Tapps. What is it that a pre-approval tells those sellers?
Okay, so think about it from their perspective. They might be getting a bunch of offers on their house.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
They're going to want to pick the buyer who's most likely to actually close the deal, without any financing hiccups.
Of course.
And a pre-approval letter shows them that you're serious and prepared.
Like you're not messing around.
Exactly. It tells them and their agent that a lender has already vetted you and you're probably going to get the financing.
So they're not going to have to worry about it falling through.
Exactly. That's a huge relief for them.
So it's kind of like going to a job interview, but you've already got those like amazing references.
That's a great analogy.
You're showing them you're a serious contender.
Yes. You're already a step ahead.
Okay, so what's another way that getting pre-approved gives buyers an edge?
Well, it can actually speed up the whole home buying process once your offer is accepted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you've already done a lot of the work with the lender, during pre-approval. The final mortgage application can move much faster.
That sounds crucial, especially when you hear about houses getting offers like hours after they're listed.
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time, especially in popular areas.
Yeah.
So that speed can really make a difference.
Right.
You know, it could be the reason your offer gets chosen over someone who hasn't gotten pre-approved yet, and their financing is still up in the air.
So you're the sure thing, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we've got speed and being seen as a serious buyer. Those are huge.
Right.
Now, I've also heard about how interest rates can play a role in all of this.
Oh, yeah, that's another big benefit. You won't be able to lock in your interest rate.
Oh, okay. How does that work?
So a lot of lenders will let you lock in the rate for a certain period.
Right.
Usually like 60 to 120 days once you're pre-approved.
Why is that such a good thing to lock in the rate?
Well, it basically protects you in case interest rates go up while you're still looking for a house.
Oh, that makes sense.
So even if rates climb, your rate stays the same, and you can be sure of what your monthly payments will be.
That's a good peace of mind.
It is, and sometimes if rates actually go down,
Okay.
some lenders might even let you switch to the lower rate.
Wow, so you could actually benefit even more.
Exactly, it's a win-win.
That's a great way to kind of manage any of those market ups and downs.
Exactly.
And have some certainty about what your mortgage is going to cost, over time.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked about budget clarity being a serious buyer speed and a potential rate lock.
Right.
What would you say is the fifth key reason why pre-approval is so important?
I'd say it's all about finding any potential problems with your financing before they become a big deal.
Okay.
Like, you go through the pre-approval process early, and if there are any issues with your credit or anything else, you find out before you even make an offer on a house.
Oh, that honestly sounds like such a relief because I can imagine, like, getting your hopes up on a place and then, making an offer and then something goes wrong with the financing. That must be incredibly stressful.
Oh, it can be devastating, emotionally and financially. Like, imagine finding out there's a problem with your credit score or your income after your offer's been accepted.
Oh, gosh.
That can really mess things up.
Yeah.
You could lose your earnest money.
Wow.
So pre-approval helps you catch those things early on.
Okay.
Gives you time to fix them, or maybe adjust your house hunting strategy.
So it's like a financial early warning system for buying a house.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so Rethinking Real Estate also gave some really practical tips to make this whole process smoother. What are some of the key things that people should do?
Okay, so first things first, take a good look at your credit report.
Okay.
Make sure there aren't any mistakes on it. And if you can try to pay down any outstanding debts,
Right.
The better your credit score is, the better the interest rates and loan terms you'll qualify for.
That's such good advice because you don't want to be surprised by something on your credit report when you're trying to buy a house.
Exactly.
Okay, so besides checking your credit report, what other kind of preparations should people be making?
It really helps if you gather all your financial documents ahead of time.
Okay.
Things like proof of income.
Like pay stub.
Exactly. Pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements to show your assets, and then information about any debts you have, like student loans or car loans.
That sounds like being organized with all that stuff would really save a lot of headaches.
Oh, for sure.
Now, when it comes to choosing a lender, do you just go with the first one you talk to?
It's usually a good idea to shop around a bit.
Okay.
Compare interest rates and terms from different lenders.
Makes sense.
Check out a few banks, credit unions, online lenders even.
Okay.
And you could also think about working with a mortgage broker.
Okay. What do they do?
So they basically work with a bunch of different lenders.
Okay.
And they can help you find the loan that's the best fit for you and your situation.
So they're kind of like your personal mortgage shopping assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
They can be really helpful, especially because mortgages can be so complicated.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I imagine there's a lot of, fine print and stuff.
Oh, tons.
Okay, so what else?
But another really important thing, be totally upfront and honest with your lender.
Yeah.
Give them accurate information right from the start.
Okay.
That way they can find the right loan product for you, and you avoid any problems down the line.
Right. Honesty is the best policy when it comes to something as big as a mortgage.
Absolutely.
Any other words of wisdom for our listeners?
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Try to avoid making any big financial changes while you're going through pre-approval and buying your house.
Like what kind of changes?
Like switching jobs, opening new credit cards, making a huge purchase like a new car.
Got it.
All that can affect whether you get approved for the loan.
Right, because they want to see that stability.
Exactly. Consistency is key.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rethinking Real Estate made a really good point about sticking to your actual budget,
Yes.
not just the maximum amount you're pre-approved for.
So important.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so just because a lender says, okay, we'll give you this much money,
Right.
doesn't mean you should actually spend that whole amount on a house.
Okay.
You got to think about all the other costs that come with owning a home.
Right. Closing costs and things like that.
Exactly. Closing costs, moving expenses, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and then all the ongoing stuff like maintenance and repairs.
Yeah. You don't want to end up house poor.
Exactly.
Okay.
You want to make sure you can comfortably afford your monthly payments without having to sacrifice everything else.
Right. You still want to be able to enjoy life.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's bring this all back to our local market. Why is getting pre-approved so important for people who are specifically looking to buy in Western Washington, especially in Pierce County and the Lake Tapps area?
Well, as we've been talking about, the real estate market here is really competitive.
Yeah.
So having that pre-approval gives you a big advantage.
Yeah.
For first-time home buyers, it really clarifies things and makes them feel more confident.
Right, because it can be a little overwhelming.
It definitely can.
Yeah.
And if you need to move quickly, like for a job or something,
Right.
you're ready to jump on the right property as soon as you see it.
You don't want to miss out.
Exactly. And for people who are selling their current home and buying a new one at the same time,
Yeah.
pre-approval helps them plan their finances better and not overextend themselves.
It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
For sure.
So it really helps all kinds of buyers, no matter what their situation is.
It does, and it makes both the buyer and the seller feel more secure.
Right, because they know they're dealing with someone who's prepared.
Exactly.
So to sum it all up, getting pre-approved isn't just about paperwork. It's about setting yourself up for success and giving yourself some peace of mind.
I love that. Yeah, it's about being proactive and in control.
And buying a house is a big deal. So
It is.
it makes sense to be as prepared as possible.
Absolutely.
It's a huge undertaking.
I'm sure.
So it sounds like pre-approval is really the foundation for a good experience, especially in a market like ours.
Couldn't agree more. It's essential for a smooth and successful home buying journey.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the key takeaway here is super clear.
Okay.
If you're even thinking about buying a home, especially in Western Washington with its crazy competitive market,
Right.
getting pre-approved for a mortgage should be the very first thing you do.
Absolutely.
It tells you what you can afford. It makes you a much stronger buyer. And it can save you a ton of time, stress, and potential disappointment.
All good things.
And thanks again to Susie Karstedt at Rethinking Real Estate for their expert advice.
Yes. Thank you, Susie.
If you want to dig deeper into all of this and read their whole blog article, go to rethinkingre.com/blog.
Definitely a great resource.
Okay, so now that you know all about the power of pre-approval, what's the very first step you're going to take today to get closer to finding your dream home in Western Washington? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, good luck out there.
See you next time.